Hello, hello, and we are back for a another live stream. Let me just get things set up. Okay, so today the plan is to get a setup for Brands Hatch. I don't currently have one, and my fastest time so far at Brands Hatch is a 125.1, and that was set in the McLaren. So that's our target to beat. I wonder if I can just set that target to be 125.179. Okay, so that's what we're looking for. That's what we're trying to beat today using my own setup. So we're going to be using the practice session today, just because we want to know what the consistent tyre pressures are. Gosh, smudging my glasses, that's not going to help things, is it? So I need to know what our consistent tyre pressures are, and that's just the easiest way to do it. If we do hot lap, they will just reset every lap. I have a sort of kind of cheat guide down here, just to my left, just to kind of give me some pointers. I am in no means a setup pro. I'm very much learning as we go along. Using the BMW M4. It's very stable on just the aggressive setup, so gives us a good base to be experimenting with. So let's just jump into the session. So temperature, I think it's about 26, if I remember. We can certainly have a look, but what we're going to do to start with is just going to load the aggressive setup. Going to take some fuel out, probably 30 litres. Brake pads 1, because the majority of races that we do are less than an hour long. And I am going to close the rear ducts and the front ducts. Reason I'm changing the ducts straight off, one, we want to try and get our brake temps in the window as soon as possible, and it also affects the tyre temps. So if we get the brake ducts pretty much bang on early doors, then it just makes setting the tyre pressures easier. We're not going to set the tyre pressures to where we want them, then we're going to go and do some brake duct work, and then we're going to have to redo the tyre pressures again. Brandon, how you doing, mate? Hope you're having a good week, good weekend. I'm just changing some things on my phone because my font size for chat is not the easiest to see. Bear with me, and I will be back with you. But yeah, my week has been good. Work's been going all right, and yeah, about to get into some of this. So I haven't done any racing today, so this will literally be my first laps. So just to go over, we've changed the brake ducts to try and get those in an appropriate window before we start playing too much with tyre pressures. Everything else I have left the same, except for dropping the fuel and changing the front and rear brake pads. Are you ready for tomorrow's races? Yes. I have done my own setups for Misano and for Donington Park. So I am feeling pretty good about the Sunday's races. Right then.
Green light, show them what you got.
I'll turn that down, that's fairly loud. Right, so first laps, we just want to try and do about 5 laps. We want to try and avoid spins at all costs, because that will affect the tyre pressure readings. We also, while we're going around our first couple of laps, want to keep an eye on our brake temps. And just make sure that they stay so have you found out which is your favourite car yet? Did you still on GP today? The Mac is pretty quick. Oops.
Stay away from curbs.
So yeah, read in chat and driving down a straight, not great. So currently this will be at the top of the list for cars that I enjoy driving. It's a car that I started driving in ACC fairly early on, and then went and tried a load more, but I've come back to this one and my days, tyres are like ice, and I'm just enjoying driving it again.
Losing pressure on the left front.
Losing pressure on the left front, so I've got a slow puncture already. We'll just drive through it. I didn't watch much of the GT4. So the GT4s and the GT2s there today, but I think I watched probably about 10 minutes of the GT4 one, and then just got distracted by other things. So didn't watch that. The Mackie's pretty quick. Is that a Misano? It's pretty quick. I don't know what my times are at Misano in the McLaren. I know that I smashed my lap time in the BM that I did. I think my quickest in the BM's a 1:34.3 at Misano, and that was with race fuel. So once I can
Losing pressure on the right wheel.
losing pressure everywhere, getting on the curbs. The hot lap. This is our lap session. We also not no races. So this will just be. I wouldn't say it's a hot lap session. I'd rather call it a race pace session. Hot laps setups are different to race setups. I like to tend to work towards a comfortable race setup, and then just tweak it a little bit for qualifying. So less fuel. Probably drop the ride height a little bit for qualifying, but ultimately I just want to be able to jump into any track with this car, have a nice comfortable setup that can run, you know, fairly well during the race, and and then over the qualifying, you're obviously just on lower fuel load, so less fuel load, you've got less weight, so you can afford to drop the ride height a little bit. But generally I want to be able to do a 20-minute stint comfortably with consistent lap times. So I just want a nice stable car, nice stable but quick car, quick enough. So I pinned the my current PB of a, what was it, 2025.1. So I'd like to be 24.5s by the end, if I can. L-Sport, how's it going, mate? Hope you're having a good weekend. Thanks for popping by. So it may look like a hot lap session, but
fastest lap so far.
We're just trying to establish what the car needs. So first 5 laps, just making sure that our brake temps are fine under the heavy braking. We're not peaking those into the yellow. Tyre pressures, if the brakes are fine, we can sort out and go out again before we start making changes to things like the camber, the toe, the suspension, bump rates and everything like that. So dampers are really hard to do just because telemetry is not available. But once I get on the PC, I'll probably go through and try and do one properly with dampers and the whole works. So I did pretty much spent all of last week with my mate Carlos rocking, and yeah, we've just been trying to get our heads around setups and how to get stable cars and quick cars. Why not at Donington Park? Because Donington Park I've already got a setup for. So it would be pointless me going to do more setup work at Donington Park when I've already got a setup for Donington Park. So that's why I chose this. I haven't got a setup for this track. Don't race here very often, but I just want to be getting a setup for every track. So I've got one for Donington, one for Misano, one for Kalami. Anywhere else? I'm trying to think where I've been racing this week. I think that's it, but I think I spent about 2 days on the setup at Donington, or 2 evenings, so probably about 3 hours, 4 hours on there. Just working on setups, just pretty much setting up 2 1-hour practice sessions and then just going out. So temperature is 27. So we'll keep that in mind. So do one more lap and then we'll come back in and we'll assess everything. Brakes are looking good.
Well done, mate. This has been your personal best.
Heavy braking still staying green, which is exactly what we want. No, there's loads of lots of tracks I haven't got setups for. Those are just, I only started doing it this week, working on my own setups to just try and learn about them, see what works, see what doesn't, see if there's anything that I can do just to make myself quicker. And with the BMW and my own setups, I've been beating my PBs. Is the BMW quick enough though? Well, it was quick enough at Misano last night. And it's fairly rapid at Donington Park. I don't think there's any issue with if it's quick enough or not. Yeah, 1:34.3 at Misano, that's pretty quick. And when we come back out, if you remind me, we'll have a look at the Donington lap times. I raced midweek against a guy that I know who's pretty quick, and has nose to toe with him pretty much all the way around. So, and he was using the Bentley, so I'm pretty comfortable with the BMW. So brakes were fine at 3.3s. So let's sort our tyres out. So as we can see on the left hand side, we've got our PSI hot value at 26.1. So we need to go up a whole PSI to 26.1. That will get us to 27.1. And then 2, 3, 4. I like to get them at 27.4, just because then when it's under load in a corner it can fluctuate up a few degrees and it'll kind of settle around 27.5. So we did have some issues with losing pressure. So I'm just going to drop this up to 27. I'm going to take this to 27 as well. I have had no issues with the BMW at all, even through the Donington Park chicane. Even through there, it's pretty stable. Again, you can iron stuff out through the setup. So, like yesterday at Kadami, I had an issue where I was coming around one corner and the inside curb's quite bumpy, and I was bouncing, got onto the curb on the outside of the track, and as I was bouncing round, that just unsettled it and it put me 90 degrees into a wall. So it was just a case of increasing the rear bump stop range, just so it wasn't so bouncy, wasn't hitting, wasn't bottoming out, and that just settled it all down then. The 26.9, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4. So those are our tyre pressures sorted. I'm going to bring these down a little bit, just personal preference. And I am also going to bring the brake bias down to 55. Just to try and just to see if that helps. I found that with the BMW 55 to like 53 is somewhere around it. It's quite happy there. It still gets me good. Don't play the PC version, so I wouldn't be able to tell you, Brando. I don't pay much attention to what's going on in the PC. One, because it's a completely different version of the game. Everything is different about it. You cannot kind of compare the two side by side, because everything is different about them. You know, when we get the 1.8 version update, then we can start doing the comparisons between the two, but as it stands now, we're at version 1.7 and they're at 1.8, where the tyre model's changed, which has then in turn affected the handling. So, and we're only getting the base cars, and then they'll update it as it goes through. So we're not getting every single car to version 1.8 standard straight off the bat. So you just can't compare the two. I can only go on what's in front of me, and I haven't driven Kota, and I haven't played the ACC on the PC, so this is what we're playing, this is what is in front of us, this is what we've got to go on. So that should be our tyre pressures done. Brake bias is in a sweeter spot for me, so we shall go back out and see how our tyre pressures are. Every car will have a strength and weakness at a track. No car's going to suit every track. All you can do is make the most out of the car you've got with the setup changes that you can do to try and get it as comfortable and as quick as you can go with it. Some like an oversteery car, some like an understeery car. Or it's all down to the driving style that you have. But it'd be very hard to go be hard to write off any car because each car and track will have pros and cons for each one. Like Imola in the McLaren. Is the McLaren quick there? Can be. Is it rubbish over the curbs? Yes. Is the Mercedes better over the curbs? Yes. Is the Mercedes AMG quicker? Probably about the same. But which one would I take and feel more comfortable pushing in? I'd take the Mercedes every day because it can handle the curbs. But then, would I take it around somewhere else? Maybe like Suzuka? Maybe not. Just because it's not as agile through the first sector. But then, with setup work, you could probably get it somewhere close. I don't think it would be as agile as the McLaren. Don't get me wrong, the McLaren's good, but I just prefer this. Our front left is excessively high already. Rears aren't too far off. And all we've done is changed the brakes, the brake ducts, and sorted out tyre pressures, and we're down into the 26s already, so not far to go. So we're getting like, so already, I mean, our front left is massively high. Tyres are fairly high all round, but we're getting understeer, very scrapey through the downhill section, so I may need to raise the ride height a little bit. But yeah, as I say, I am no way a setup guru, as I've only been doing it for a week, and yeah, just trying out different things. And trying to figure out what works. I mean, if we're going to start working on setups, it's probably best if I just stick with a car that I enjoy driving, and this is one. Like 27.5 is the sweet spot. So I like to try and get my tyres at 27.4, just so that we can have some fluctuation under load, and then the tyres can just hold on to temps as and when they need to, and I'll just kind of sit at 25 or 27.5 even. Looking up at the green, getting green delta sort of pressures there. So yeah, as we can look at our tyre pressures, slightly high on the right hand side, quite a bit over on the left. So yeah, you want to try and get your tyres to be at a constant 27.5. So, and that'll be different for a depend on how hard you're pushing, how hard you're working the tyre. So, like getting pressures off somebody is a good baseline, but they might not always suit you. Is the better either of the two, understeer or oversteer. That all comes down to driver preference. I'd probably prefer understeer because you can kind of sort that out with a bit more throttle, whereas oversteer is very much, if you have too much of it, then you'll be just spinning around everywhere. But some people like to have it slightly on the oversteer edge and help to rotate the car that way. Turned in far too early for that. I've just said understeer seems to suit me a lot better. I can be a bit more aggressive on my throttle inputs. Whereas with oversteer, a little bit too aggressive. And that's it. Hello rear. Right, so there's another 5 laps done. So I tend to find that doing around 5-6 laps and then just bringing it to a slow steady stop will get you the best sort of tyre pressure results. So we need to drop this down by 0.78 to get us down to 27.4. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 4. This one needs to come down 4. 2, one down 1. So when you were talking about understeer, aren't you placing more load on the tyre on corner entry? Understeer is just your front tyres moving laterally across a surface. So on turning, the car is just sliding across the surface and not moving forward, if that makes sense. So we'll come into a corner, we'll put the steering on and we'll just wash out wide, as opposed to if it was really like agile and we were getting all the grip from the tyre, you just turn in at a grip and go. We're kind of sliding ourselves, sliding the front end around the corner a little bit. So we'll go out and we'll try these pressures. We want to get the pressures right and then we can just start tweaking. Start tweaking away a little bit. Because if we change camber, if we change toe, then that'll also have an effect on tyre pressures. But if we get them around the right sort of window, then it's only going to be a couple of psi here and there. So I'll do another 5 laps or so. Just see where they sit. So I'd like to get down into the 24s today. If we can. So aren't you flat spotting the tyres if you understeer? I've got the whole idea. So flat spotting is where the tyre completely stops and you scrape it across the surface. Understeer will just kind of give you like graining, and if it's really excessive then you might even blister the tyre, but you wouldn't flat spot the tyre from understeer. Unless it was significantly bad. It's usually when the tyre stops on the surface would you get flat spots. Well, you can see all that from the setup menu anyway, what your tyres are doing. Blisters, flat spots, graining. Obviously it would be ideal to not have anything, but some light graining you might not notice. But it'll be very hard to get a setup where you can push and not have either oversteer or understeer. Because we want to be pushing as much and as often as we can. Hear the tyre in what sense? Tyre pressures are looking pretty good. Driving, not so good. When I start to turn into the corner or out of it, like a deep rubbing sound. So whenever there's like whenever really you get any sort of like it's hard to know what you kind of mean. So like tyre squeal, or like when you hear the tyre sort of resisting. As far as I'm aware, that's like the peak performance of the tyre. Like having a little bit of tyre squeal means that your tyres are almost at their max. Almost at their maximum grip. So it's like, even around here I can hear the tyres like on turning kind of scrubbing a little bit, or it sounds like it's scrubbing, but like when I approach the hairpin. It could be the tyres just slipping, could be the understeer that I'm talking about. I say it's all very new. So there, like, if you mean there, then that's just me putting, like, that's the understeer kicking in, that is. Tyre squeal is, as I say, when the tyre is at the peak of its grip, so it's not gonna hinder your lap times if your tyre's at peak grip all the time every time you steer, but you'll probably just wear through them quicker. because you're putting the extra load through. As it is with racing and setups, it's all about finding that balance. You don't want to be so on edge. Like a hot lap setup is going to be very edgy, like on a knife edge, because that's what's going to get you the best 1 lap pace. Then a race setup, you need to kind of dial it back a little bit. You want something that's predictable, comfortable to drive at pace. That's what we're trying to work on here, something that will give me consistent lap times that I can repeat lap after lap, and it's not going to just randomly spin out on me. It's not, if I run a bit wide, you know, because you think in a race setup you need to be able to use all of the racetrack, not just the racing line, because you're going to need to overtake at some point, and that may put you on a bit of the track which might be a little bit more bumpy. Just not getting that last corner. Snoodles, how you doing, mate? Hope you're having a good weekend. Thank you for popping by the stream. We're at the current stage of setup where we are trying to get our tyre pressures dialed in before we then start playing around with too many settings. So yeah, if you do have any questions or anything like that, questions, advice, tips and tricks, then yeah, just fire them in, and if they are questions, I'll do my best to answer them with the small amount of knowledge that I have with the setups, and I'm by no means a setup master. Absolutely far from it. That's better through there. So that lap time there beats my current personal best. Can you teach me not to suck? I can do my best. That's all I can say. I can do my best. It's not a racing rod. Yeah, okay. But yeah, definitely not. There are many people that are quicker than me. I'm happy with the pace that I've got, and you know, that's all that matters. It's all about fun at the end of the day, and if I can help anybody get quicker, that's all that it's about. Yeah, as I say, help people get quicker, get more enjoyment out of it, then that's a win. It's not a massive, like, just not a mass amount of people that play it like your FPS games or other types of games. So if we can help people get a little bit quicker, what it's all about, isn't it? So I'm going to put these up a little bit, these are absolutely spot on. Branch Tricky Tractor Master. It is. You've got a difficult first corner downhill, and then in the like third sector, it's really tight, and it's all about having a car that can handle the curbs. So we are getting understeer. So I'm going to refer to my little cheat sheet. I've got it up on my tablet to find out what the best thing to do for corner over understeer is. What I am going to do though is, it's not a particularly, like, there are some high speed corners, but I don't think we need that much wing. So we want to be about 6. So I'm going to take 2 wing off, and I'm going to raise it by 2 mil. All round, like 2 mil at the front, 2 mil at the back, just to try and stop us bottoming out down the hill, and also give us a little bit more top speed down the back straight. We'll see how it goes. And then we are going to go to mechanical grip. Oh, so this is there's a little cheat sheet that you can get, and it's on the Driver 61 website. If you just search in like Google Driver 61 setup guide, then find the one that says ACC, and it's a great piece. It goes through every stage and what can affect it, what you can do. So as long as you can identify what the car's doing, whether that be understeer, corner entry, mid corner, corner exit, oversteer, you can refer to the guide, and it'll just give you like almost like a hint list. Like, if your car's doing this, these are say 6 or 7 things that you can change, and go from there. And that's generally what I've been using while I've been making the setups. And yeah, I found them really good. So we are getting understeer. So on here we've got things that we can do to the tyre and things that we can do in mechanical grip. So first thing we're going to do is give ourselves some more rear anti-roll bar to try and steady the back end a little bit, stop so much kind of like body roll at the back. So if we can control that, just one for now, we can almost stop so much rear body roll, which then will push the car forward. We want to kind of limit it to keep the car as flat as we can. What was that? 80. Leave that as it is. And then what I want to do is increase this bump stop range. This will just enable, so you've got the green line, yellow line and the red line. So the yellow line is pretty much how the suspension sits. The red line is where the suspension will bottom out. So as we're coming down through the hill for the first corner, obviously we haven't got a lot of suspension travel there. So whereas on the rear we've got quite a large amount, looking where the yellow and the red line is. So by increasing this, we'll just take it up to the line to 7. That gives us a bit more suspension travel. So that should mean that it will be able to absorb the compression of the downhill slightly better. And then that's all the changes we're going to make. So the changes we've made now that we're kind of happy with the tyres: increase the ride height to handle the bumps a little bit better, and increase the front suspension travel to help us handle the bumps a little bit, and also increase the rear anti-roll bar to try and get rid of some of the turn-in understeer. Everything else is the same. So we've done a few laps. So as you can see, we're not really pushing that hard. Just on the left there where you can see the wear, you've got grain, blister, flat spots. So on all the tyres that we've used, we've done about 5 laps on each. We're not seeing any graining on the tyres that we've used. So we shall go out and see what is going on and see if we can't improve any with the few changes we've done. Now it's best to do like between each run as little changes as possible, really. You don't want to go like too drastic, because you may end up kind of losing your way a little bit. So if you go make changes, come out, it hasn't worked, you can't remember exactly what you've done, then when you go back, it's very hard to then kind of go, oh yeah, I changed this, but how many did I change it by? Did I change this? And then all the work you've done previous can sort of come undone. So best to do just small incremental steps, nothing too drastic. And if you did want to try something completely new, just drop a save in. So when you get somewhere that you're fairly close with, or you're unsure if that's the right thing to do, just make a save. When I'm doing setup work, I like to just save it with the lap time, and then you know what sort of target you're aiming for. Still crashing at the bottom, but the car's fairly stable going through there. I mean, we're fairly warmed up now, so felt like I got on the power quite early, didn't carry as much speed in. We don't know. Well, we're here to try and learn about what works, what doesn't work. I just got a load of understeer there. So the changes I've made, I'd say we've got a bit more understeer in the car now. Not ideal. More understeer, a bit of oversteer on corner exit. It's very unresponsive to turning. And that could be down to either ride height, could be down to the fact that we're running less downforce now. Could be that the tyres were just a bit cold. That was a whole heap of understeer there. Oversteer on exit, under power. more oversteer. So again, a lot of oversteer now at corner exit. Pretty much all through the first sector we were getting. And then understeer through the high speed. And mid corner. Driving through them, driving through the issues.
Well done, mate. The fastest step so far.
Even with all the issues, we're still able to find time, so our rear tyres are now like ridiculously hot. Don't really know why the left side has peaked so much. We didn't change the tyre pressures that I remember. Just working them a bit harder. I suppose that'll be why the pressures are going up, just working them a bit more. Trying to get on top of this understeer that we've got. Might just be loading them up a bit too much. But there's 2 laps, fairly consistent. So learning the characteristics of the car a bit more. Still getting a bucket load of understeer though. And then some oversteer, corner exit. Understeer may come down to, well, tyre pressures are ridiculous when we come out because of the amount of understeer we've got, and it just compounds itself into there. They're going to have to do something about that, because by the time we get round, so through the first sector our tyres peak at like 28 and then they fall right back down. So we're getting far too much understeer through the first corner. Whether that's because I'm just carrying too much speed into it, could be a reason. But if we are overheating the tyre that easily, it means that we've just got far too much of it. So 24/7 though, getting that time down. Do we even dare to dream of the 23s? Okay, so we're going to up this by 1. Just to try and give us a bit more stability on the rear end, because we were getting a bit of oversteer. That may help out a little bit. In here, I'm going to reduce this just to give the front a bit more lean as we increase the suspension range a little bit. Being able to reduce the anti-roll bar down and essentially allow us to make use of that extra suspension travel. Just being able to make the car lean slightly more. So hopefully if it can lean a bit more, it'll load the suspension more, which will then put more load into the tyre, which should, fingers crossed, help us with our understeer issue. Tyres, I'm just going to leave alone for now. The temperature ranges are okay. So I'm looking at the OMI readings now. So if we look at the front left, we've got 80, 84, 87. So ideally, I'd like those to be about 6 degrees difference across the whole tyre. And we can do that by adjusting toe or camber. Let me just refer to this for, what does it say? More toe out, more front camber. I don't really want to be adding more camber. So we could try 0.5, just bring it out one more. That's going to increase the inner tyre temps, reduce the outer, so that may skew our sorry, my chat died. What happens? So how different is what you are doing now compared to actual race setup? This is just all working towards a race setup. So I want to be able to lap consistently, comfortably. So like I'm happy with the changes I've made to go out with. So we go into our timetable list. So it's these times that I want to be able to do. Like whatever our fastest lap is, I want to be able to do that or close to that as many times in a row as I can, because then that's good race pace. We loaded it with 30 litres of fuel. So our fuel rating is only probably going to go up another 30 litres, 60 litres for a half-hour race, depending on where we are. So this is a sort of balance, and then towards the end, once I'm happy and I'm getting the consistency that I need, then we'll just take all the fuel out, see how it goes, and then make some adjustments for a qualifying setup. But with all the suspension, with all the mechanical grip sorted, tyre pressures all sorted, then it'll just be a case of maybe reducing the ride height because we're carrying less weight, but everything should feel the same. But because we're running a lighter car, we should be able to start moving quicker or start getting a quicker lap time, but we only need that for like one lap, whereas this is all about doing like 20-minute stints, half an hour stints. We all want it to be consistent, comfortable, predictable. That's what we want. We want it to be stable, comfortable and predictable. One where we can find the limit easily and stay there, and we can repeat it every lap. Are you taking a lap or more to get the tyres up to temp? Probably 2 laps, but I want to try and do like 5 lap stints, so you can see where, if we go to the top, so there was a pit in, so we did what, 6 laps pit in, then we did 1, 2, 3, 4 laps, and then we did a pit in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 laps and a pit in, and then did 5 laps and a pit in. So we want to kind of, we don't want to go out and do like 2 or 3 laps. One, because obviously we want the tyres to be in the window. We want to make sure that the tyres stay in the window, and we want to get used to the changes we've made. So it's like I came out the pits, did a 125.1, and then started to push a little bit more when the tyres were up and did a 126.2. That's your learning lap. And then we pushed, like, we kind of made the adjustments we needed, we understood the car a little bit more, did our push lap, went to push again and got fairly close, and then pushed a bit harder and we fell over. So it's the same like, where was our last one that we came out the pits at? So it's like, warm the car up, learn the car, start pushing, start pushing, start pushing. So our lap times here pretty much just kept coming down as we were learning the car and we were pushing our way through it. So yeah, around five or six laps at a time. Right, back into the setup so that we can get some warm tyres on, and then we'll go again. Yeah, sorry, the chat paused for some reason. Let me get all this up again. So yeah, apologies for that. Right. Let's try again. So we've made changes to the anti-roll bar to try and give us a bit more bite at the front end. So let me just check. Temperature is the same as when we started, 27. Yeah, definitely just want to do smaller stints and then work on it from there. So when you are racing other vehicles, will you change anything from your setup? Hold on. You know, we're driving dirty air. GT3 cars aren't really affected by dirty air as much because they're not so aero dependent. I mean, you will get it, but it won't be as much as say like in the F1 games. But no, I won't change anything on the setup. The only thing that I'll change is tyre pressures, because that will be weather dependent, and maybe my ABS and traction settings depending on if I need a bit more or a bit less. But generally, once the setup's made, I won't need to adjust much with it. Unless I go back to it and I'm like, this is not as I remember it, and then we can just... Obviously, the more that I learn about setting up the car, it'll just be kind of like an evolution of the first setup. Just changing a few things, get it to handle a bit more. A bit more to my liking, so and having the kind of knowledge to tailor it towards my driving style. What about when you are adding weight to the car, ballast or fuel? So that's why I'm kind of running with 30 litres of fuel at the minute, and not just like... That's why I'm not doing it in a hot lap run. Just so that we can kind of have some weight in the car. Ballast, we probably would have to change it a little bit depending on where the ballast is, but there isn't an option for adding ballast. To the different vehicles, or at least I don't think there is. This car already feels a lot more pointy, especially through that last sector there. Just carried a bit too much speed in there. But if you're doing an hour endurance, need more fuel, when they change the coach to tuning, accelerated. I mean, the only thing that I'd really be changing is my ride height. But it would depend on, I mean, once I get this sorted, we'll do a test then, and we'll put 120 litres and we'll give it the full tank and we'll see what sort of lap times we can do. And we'll see if having a full tank makes a huge effect. So yeah, now that we've added a bit more camber into the front, our tyres are getting a little bit warmer. The tyres are getting really hot for the first sector, and then we're carrying that heat all the way through. It's carried a bit too much speed into the last corner.
Well done, mate. This has been your personal best.
Need to open the steering up a bit more as we get to the apex so that we can make use of the extra bit of track on the outside. Feeling a lot better through this back section though. Wide. So yeah, I need to bring these tyre pressures down a bit.
Well done, mate. Personal fastest lap.
We're in like a pretty tricky scenario with tyre pressures. Just so hot through the first two corners. Alright, let's get back to the pit. What year? Yeah, it's the M4, so there's only the one M4 variant. No, 123 is coming soon. Yeah, with the 24 too. Hope so. Bit more work on the setup, and we'll get it. Definitely close. Hey, PSI hot 25.7, but it peaks like 27.8. No, 28. I'll bring that down by 3. That down by 2. I'll leave that one. That one seems to be okay. Feels pretty nice. So before we go any further, so what was that 124.2? So that's there. So that's kind of like that's our base now. So what I want to do, we're going to reduce this down to 30. And increase this, make it a little bit stiffer at the rear. Keep the wheel rate the same. Bump stop range, so we've shortened the amount that it can travel, and also the stiffness. We'll see what that does. But other than that, everything seems to be okay. We can check the tyres again. Still no graining. So the tyres when we're coming in from our smaller stints are still in good condition. That 6 is still new. Happy with where the TC and the ABS is. That's no problem. What are our temperature spreads? Oh, changed the front pressures, but it's looking good. Just into the 203s. So obviously our time to beat in the McLaren was a 1:25.1. So we nearly beat that by a full second at the minute on a 1:24.2. Is there any more time? So there's still time in there. So 21.8, 21.8. Repeated the same middle sector twice. That's always nice. So there's still 3/10 in it. So if I did a 35.0 and that lap was a 35.3, there's still like just under 3/10 to find. So that'll put us into the 23.9, which is pretty nice. We'll take 23s. We'll go and get the warm tyres again. And then let's go out and see, just check. Track temps are still the same at 27. So it's just very just small steps. When you're doing setup work, don't try and do too much. So it's like we got our brake ducts where we want them, then we got our pressures where we needed them, then we started looking at what the car needed and what the car was telling us as we were driving around, and made adjustments to suit. That's all about being able to identify what the car's doing, what the car's telling us, and then using the cheat sheet I've also got like a 13-page I suppose document that goes into a bit more detail on like what everything does. So for each bit there's like a turned in a bit early for that. There's probably like a paragraph on what everything is doing to the car. So the cheat sheet is good to kind of let you know what you can change. Just bump you over that curve. But knowing what it does just kind of fills the blanks in. It's like if I'm getting it like understeer on quarter entry, reduce the camber. What is camber? Reduce the toe. What is toe? What's caster? What does the anti-roll bar do? What's the bump stop? What's the wheel rate? You know, it's so I use that, and all that information's available up on YouTube. I pulled it off the Traction GG site, but it's obviously in video format, and I can watch a video all the time and won't take what I need from it. So I decided just to write it out. Car is so planted. When are we going to see some racing? Oh, I mean, we could probably do some racing at some point. But, you know, set at work, this is the thing, set at work takes time, but once you get it, like just through driving this car and doing the setup, I am more than a second quicker than I was in the McLaren. So although it takes time, it's tedious, it's 100% worth it. Yeah, we haven't had that in a while. Right, just need to focus in, put in a quick lap time. Far too quick in there. And we're both a bestseller. You know, so it's all available online. I just put it into a different format. So I can take no credit for it. Send it in. A bit too quick. So now that we've changed the bump stop range, getting a bit more oversteer now, so it's probably a little bit too much. So I'll go back, load the old setup. Guide for consistency is just one word: repetition, and that is it. Just being able to know your braking points, know your lines. Struggling with turning on that first corner now. Knowing your lines, knowing your braking points, and just being able to do it over and over and over again. Really struggle with that corner. Sometimes I can get it really good, sometimes it's just an absolute nightmare. Gotta float it into there. There's a bit more of a handful.
Well done, mate. Personal best.
Not as easy to drive as the other I think I might have come down too much. That's late into there, what are you doing? So we'll go back. We improved slightly. So we are going to increase these up to here. This is just absolute guesswork. So where do you want to? Where do you start? Just experiment, have a go, and I'm also gonna bring that down. So hopefully that will give us a bit more rotation through the hairpin at the top. Fingers crossed. Up, brake bias, to bring that down to 53. And just see how it works out. Still no graining on the tyres. Bring the toe in a little bit. Try and get us a bit more, make us a bit more agile at the front. He's still 27.8p. Bring that down. Bring that down. We'll just change the toe as well, so I'll bring it down a little bit more because the toe will put more heat into the tyre. Temperatures are what? I would say the most important thing is this: tyre pressures and mechanical grip. Aero is going to aid you, but if this isn't right, then you can throw as much aero on it as you like and it's still going to feel horrible. So the mechanical grip, this section, is everything to do like with how the car feels. Obviously the tyres, you want those at the optimum range for maximum efficiency, but if this isn't right, then even the right tyre temps isn't going to give you the right. Having the tyres at optimum is going to help lap time, but the majority of it is going to come from mechanical grip. As obviously the mechanical grip side is like how often and how the car and the tyres are being used by the weight of the car, and how easy it is to get all of that working together. And it's just a trial and error thing. Like, I haven't even touched wheel rates. I've made a little bit of an adjustment to the bump stop rate on the back and the range. That's pretty much all I've done in there. Brake bias, anti-roll bars, preload diff, just little changes. But we've gone from like loads of understeer to understeer and oversteer to like just oversteer to now to a pretty stable setup where it just comes down to me either carrying too much speed in and causing too much understeer, or me getting too aggressive on the throttle on corner exit and creating oversteer. But the window for that is quite wide, and that's what kind of makes it safe, because the operating window is quite wide. Obviously without full-on telemetry, then it's tough. No, haven't done anything to the dampers. The dampers are just out the box. It's not really a track where we need to. There's no really aggressive curbs, and it handles the curbs alright. If we really wanted to, we could probably knock the fast bump and rebound down a few just to try and help us down, but it's like one corner, and that corner is coming to the last section. Like there's a kink. It's hard to kind of point out on the map, but I'll point it out as we go round, which we could already do. But no, dampers are as per the aggressive setup. And they seem to handle the curves well. Dampers are the hardest thing to get right, especially if you're just kind of going in blind, because there's no real reference. Like, you can't even get like a side view of the car during the replay to find out what the suspension is doing. So it is just purely kind of like guesswork. And so this corner coming up here, this right hander, because we get right over this curb, but it's not even like a big curb. All the curbs here are fairly flat, so you don't really need to spend a lot of time smoothing out all the dampers. Quite late in there, isn't it? Loads of understeer. There's like, even on laps where your delta's red, every time you come out of a corner, just have a glance up. You know, this lap isn't going to be setting the records on fire, but if you can find out, oh, I did that corner good. Oh, I gained time all the way down this straight, or something like that, then that lap's not wasted. Give you the option, would you assisting car setup when adjusting dampers? How do you mean assisting car setup? Don't understand it. If you had the option with that assisting car setup when adjusting the dampers, well, you could just dial it in like perfect. Like with the telemetry data, you could, it's the fine tuning that you can do with the telemetry, finding out, learning. Like, I can't wait, I'm really looking forward to getting myself a PC, getting ACC, downloading Motec and just running laps and learning setups, learning all the details. You can see what this special, yeah, I really can't wait. Can't wait to just get on, do a load of laps, examine the data, make the changes, learn all about it. Can't wait for it. But learning about it and putting it into practice, it's going to be good fun. Because that'll be one thing that can make you, gives you the confidence to then push a bit harder, and that's when you find lap times when you've got the confidence to push. So if you've got the car beneath you and you know exactly what it's going to do, then you can just keep on pushing. And that's why I started trying to do my own setups. Because it's then tailored towards me, how I drive, how I can extract the most out of it. Last sector, this whole lap's been horrible. All the downshift too soon there. much too soon. But it's feeling pretty good. Temps are a little bit low at the on the front now. As that you're starting the right hand turn on the hairpin, on approach there, are you trail braking? Look at my brake trace. It'd be the easiest way to tell, because a lot of it, I don't focus on my braking, accelerating, like it's just, if I need to do that to go fast into the corner, then it's something that I do. It's non-conscious, if you know what I mean. It's like when you're driving your car, you know when you need to brake to not hit the car in front of you. You know how hard you need to brake to not hit the car in front of you. It's a non-conscious thing. Too quick. Too wide. And invalidated. That corner, man, I just struggle so much on it every single time. Turned in too soon, I had to get out of it. But they say that braking efficiently and accelerating smoothly gains 10th isn't that important. Yeah, of course it is, but if you're thinking about it, you're not thinking about where you're putting the car, where you're turning in, you know, everything visually, where the car is, where your braking points are, where your turning points are far more important than me going, oh, do I need to put 100% brake, 75% brake, 50% brake? Do I need to come off the brake as I'm going into this corner? What am I doing? Am I braking too much, too little? It's just subconscious. I hit the brake as hard as I can, and after that, it's just, I'm still going too quick, and then my subconscious just takes over, and it's like, yeah, too quick, too quick, too quick. Okay, now we can ease off, get it in. It's not something that you want to be focusing on that much. Like, getting it right is crucial, yeah. Getting it right, getting your braking point spot on, everything like that is vital. But you don't want to be thinking about what your foot's doing over what you can see. You know, being able to, I mean, if your FOV's right and the sensor speed's right, then you can just look at the screen and tell you're going too quick or you're going too slow. FOV is important for that sense of speed. And once you get that right, then you'll be able to, then you'll just know, you'll just be able to tell that I'm going too quick, I'm going too slow, I can brake later, I can brake earlier, and that. But if you're focused on, like, you say we go into the hairpin. So if we go into the hairpin down the bottom, and consciously you're thinking, right, yeah, I've had a good run out of there, ace, right, now I'm up here, right, now I'm on the brakes, now I've got a downshift now, what am I doing? I'm coming off the brakes, now I'm turning in, now I've got to get on the power. Just makes your corner really busy, and then you'll be coming down here, right, get on the brakes, half brake, a little bit more brake, get back on the power. It just makes every corner cluttered when it's like, there's my braking point, okay, I brake too soon, I can get off the brake, dip it in, feed the power in. It's all just kind of, just subconsciously do it, and that's where you need to be. Like, you know where your braking point is, you know you've got to put a downshift in, but you're not going downshift, downshift, downshift. It's just, you know what gear you need to be in for that corner. So it's just, right, I'm going to hit the brakes, I've got to downshift twice, and then I've just got to dip it in. And then it's all just how the car reacts. Like, when you get on the throttle is when the car goes, I'm settled now, you can absolutely plant your foot. The visual aspect of it is more important. Being able to pick up the little signs, like, of the car settling down is, to me, more important than concentrating on, right, like, oh no, my brake here is like just in front of the gantry, probably at this orange bollard, and then when I get to the corner, it's like, I just know I've braked enough, I can just roll around here, start at the curb, on the brakes, I know that I've slowed down enough for the corner, now I can start turning in, now I can get back on the power, and it just, it's just all going on without me thinking about it. The only thing I'm thinking about is, where am I turning in? And then once you're through the corner, like, brake point, I'm gonna make it, I'm back on the power. It's all that I'm thinking of. Like, the brake and throttle tracing is, like, if I turned it off, it wouldn't change the way that I drive because I don't have a visual representation of it. But it's there for, you know, everybody to look at, see what I'm doing with my feet. But it's not, like, when you're driving in your car, you're not thinking, oh, how much of this do I need to put in to pull away? How much power do I need before I need to lift off the clutch? How much brake force do I need to slow down to not hit that car in front? How much brake force do I need just to come to a casual, like, stop? How quickly do I need to accelerate to make that gap? It's just all, you just know instinctively, because you've done it for a bit, you know how much you need. You know, looking ahead, like, you know if you can stop in that gap. Even before you've hit the brakes, you're like, I can stop. And I've just got to put this much pressure on, this much pressure on. You just instinctively know how to pull away. If you drive a manual, you know how much power you need to lift the clutch up and pull away without stalling.
Some severe damage on the front of the car.
Severe damage. All these things you just know, and that's kind of... How do the pros gain speed that the average Joe can't? What are they doing right that we are doing wrong? I mean, you the two people you've just mentioned have done racing, real life, real world racing. So they have far more experience with modulating the brake pedal, accelerating, you know, how a car should feel. It's like, I haven't done that. The only racing I've done is go-karting and a few track days and some rally days as well. But I ain't never set foot in a race car, not in my life. This is as close as I am ever going to get to a race car. So it's just like, obviously with sim racing, it takes, like, to be quick, it's just being confident with what you've got. So like, equipment, don't really think plays a massive part. Like, I started on a G27 and that was great. I got my consistency there with that wheel. I probably put more time in with that wheel than I have done with any other wheel I've got, and that pedal set, and had some really good races and was able to just fight and just enjoy yourself with it. But it is just, you know, the confidence factor that you can get from the car and just pushing the limits. If you're not getting the understeer, if you're not getting the oversteer, if you're not spinning out while you're practicing, then you're not finding the limit of either the car or yourself. Because it's very easy to just cruise around and drive within the car and within yourself. So it's just about pushing yourself. Isn't this the point of simulation versions of real racing? Some pros have stepped into real cars. Yeah, but I would pretty much guarantee that they're not thinking about the brake pedal. They're not thinking about the accelerator. They are just doing it. I'm always on the limit of my ability. We'll see if that's true. Nudes, we'll see if that's true at some point. We'll see if we can't find you some more lap time. But so if you've had prior race experience, or if you get in here, if you start sim racing from a young age and you just practice it, then a lot of the stuff just becomes instinctual. The more things that you can do on instinct while driving, the more time you have to process the visual that's going on in front of you. I'm slowly getting faster at this game, but it's slow progress for me. Any progress is good progress. I mean, it does take, it's just time. Like, even racing drivers, when they jump into new cars, it's like, oh yeah, it feels good, but we need more seat time. Exactly the same here. But if something is off, doesn't altering the way you pressing the pedals gain or lose tenths. I mean, there will be a braking point, turning point, apex and exit at every corner. Obviously there will be a speed that people can take through that. So if you want to go after pro level, then you need to look at the videos of the pros. You need to know at what speed they're going into the corner, what their apex speed is and what their exit speed is, and then you need to get as close to that as you can. So whereas if you're just doing it for fun, then it doesn't matter about, you know, if you're just racing for yourself, then, you know, the more seat time that you get, the quicker that you will eventually become. It's not like you're going to sit in here, do 2 weeks and be esports ready. Like there may be some like wonder kids that can do it and just have the talent, just have that finesse about them to be able to extract the time and absorb everything that's coming in. So it's like with the visual of it, it's like you can tell when the car just sits itself down and is happy just for you to just absolutely smash the throttle through the floor. But then there are times where the car will be bouncing around and you have to wait. That's all visual. I mean, yeah, you get a little bit of feedback to let you know what the car's doing, because it has to give you some suspension feedback as well. That's kind of what gives the force feedback to us. Like, obviously the suspension has a big part in it, but the less interruptions you have apart from focusing on the visual in front, then that's what's going to get you the lap time. Mizuno was doing 142s last night, did a 138.2. He's just practicing effort. Exactly. And I bet you that's just on the base setup as well. You think if you you know, if you just experimented with playing with numbers, using the driver 61 cheat sheet and being able to identify what the car's doing, and then just making just one click, see how it is, another click, see how it is, and you just do your 5 lap stints of your one click, another click, right, okay, so, and then you're right, okay, so if I go any more, so it's like in the setup, I mean, the more angle you put in here, the hotter your inner's going to be and the colder your outer's going to be. So it's just finding the balance where all your tyre pressures across the tyre are even. And then, okay, so you're happy with the cambers. Okay, what's next? Okay, anti-roll bars. Okay, so what's it saying? I can decrease the front or increase the rear. Okay, I'm going to do 5 laps and I'm going to drop the anti-roll bar by 1. You go and do your 5 laps. Did it improve it? No. Not really. Didn't really gain much time. Okay, I'm going to put the anti-roll bar back to 4. And I'm going to do the rear anti-roll bar and see what happens then. And then you go out and you're going, oh, just found 3/10. Great. Right. And then you can just work on the next thing. And so on and so on. It's just about experimenting and finding out what works for you, because everyone is different. Like, I could give this to 10 different people and everybody, or the majority of them, will be like, it's just not quite right for me. There may be some people that can adapt and drive through the things, but they'll all have feedback. They'll all be like, nah, it's got a bit too much understeer. Oh, I couldn't get on the power early enough that I'm used to, or, you know, the brake bias is a little bit off for me. Everybody drives the car in a different way, so it is so personal preference. But setups across multiple games will work in the same way. So like the anti-roll bar does its job, and it will do its job the same or very similar across every game. Brake bias will work the same. It may be different numbers, maybe a different way of expressing the values, but it generally will work the same across multiple games. So we'll get some new tyres on. We'll start trying to chase these 23s. I think we can do it. Alright, let's give it a few more goes. Also, one good thing is not kind of like set yourself a limit. Okay, so I'm going to do setup work for 2 hours, and then once those 2 hours are done, just put it down and go and do something completely different. You know, whether that be just going for a 10-minute race, a 20-minute race, whether you get up, grab yourself a cup of tea, you grab a coffee, have something to eat, and then come back to it. Because it's very easy to kind of get this, almost this block. So I'll set up a car up and I'll drive it one day and it'll be fine, and then I'll come to it the next day and I'll be like, how in the world was I driving this? So it's just step away from the setup work and then come back to it and be like, oh, okay, so I need to, you know, change this to sort that out. And you may start noticing different things. It's very easy to just kind of be like, get focused on one thing. So say the car's understeering a lot and you've just spent 2 hours trying to dial out understeer, and then you get into it and it's like, oh, I've been trying to sort out corner entry understeer, but it's actually mid corner, and it's very easy to get kind of bogged down in the setup work. And then once you're kind of happy with what sort of lap times you're doing, that is so late, not even full brake. Then just save it and go racing with it. That corner I'm either braking too early, too late, just can't seem to get, and I've taken the board out now as well, so time to pick a static spot. Really late turning. Well, understeer helps form the tyres, right? Can't seem to get on the power through there. We're happy. We can do a little race around here, yeah. Starting from the back, or do we do the full practice qualify race, or do we just go into a race? And how long do you want to see the race for? I'm so not happy with this though now. And do you want to see a race here, or do you want to see a race somewhere else? from the back 20-minute job. We can do that. Yeah, because there's going to be in a field of cars in front of you. Okay. Oversteer on exit. And then threw it all away in the last two corners. Okay, so what's our fuel usage here? 3.1. Correct some oversteer. Alright. So 20-minute race, round Brands Hatch. You're gonna need to know fuel. At 3.1 a lap, and then we'll get into a 20-minute from the back to finish things off. I may even do 2. Twenty 124.219. Yeah. We've done enough practice. See that laugh, man. Fly in and then just threw it all away in the last sector. The 10th quicker. Pretty much identical. That's annoying. 0.021 different. Alright. So this is our quickest setup to date. So overwrite that. Let's go racing then. Let us go see what we can do from the back. 30 cars? 20 cars? 25 cars? No practice, we've done enough. No quality. 20-minute race. 1:45. Okay. So now it's just starting position and opponent count. There we go. 30 cars starting at the back. 20 minutes. Round Brands Hatch. Let's get into it then. Where are we coming then? What are the bets? I'm just hoping that the temp's the same. I can't see until we get into it. 27.
Stay in double file.
First. Okay, round this super thin track. It's gonna be just carnage. No, we'll end up mid-pack. Green, green, green. Let's go, go, go.
Car on the right. Clear on the right. Car on the right. Clear on the right. Car on the right.
Whoa.
Clear on the right. Car on the right. Clear on the right.
Thought I was in front a little bit. Maybe I wasn't too. I should have just sped up into that gap. Too cautious, didn't. That's what you get if you're cautious. Ah, I didn't do my fuel. Am I allowed to restart, please? I'm sure I've turned refueling off. I do get one a stream, right? One restart a stream. Yep. Thank you. Oh, what donut? That's even the wrong. That's even the wrong thing. Right, so do the fuel. Get a better start. Come on, this one. What do we say? 45. 45 litres. Okay, that's done. Didn't even think of the fuel. I asked about it and then completely forgot about it. Right, this time then.
Go in double file.
Do better starts. Do good things. Didn't have enough to get halfway around the race.
Green line, give it all you can. Car on the left. Clear on the left.
This is a better place to be.
Car on the left. Clear on the left.
Oh my god.
Into the front of the car.
3 wide, 3 wide,
Car on the left.
3 wide, being
Clear on the
pushed.
left.
Aggressive. I just stopped to get around this corner as well, guys.
Car on the right. Clear on the right.
Right, let's go.
Car on the left. Clear on the left.
My god, people. I wish they would make their mind up. And breathe. So I got 3 seconds of damage through me rear-ending someone. Coming through.
Car on the right. Clear on
Really
the
late,
right.
really late. Made it stick. Lucky though.
Car on the left. Clear on the left.
Got really lucky. I didn't take any video out when I just braked far too late. Oh, Lambo on the grass. Go, go, go.
Well done, mate. The fastest step so far.
Didn't really know whose side I wanted to be on then.
Clear on the right.
Bendy's tagged me. I was there. Ugh. Didn't like that inside curve. Pressures are looking good. Making good progress through the field. And we get another one up here.
Car on the right. Clear on the right.
What's that? Pulling them, ain't ya? Getting the elbows out. Right, if you gotta be aggressive. If you're not aggressive, you go backwards, because these are. Just really slow in the corners though.
Car on the left. Clear on the left.
215, let's go. Just wasn't close enough for that.
on the left.
Not that I can tell.
Well done, mate. This has been your personal best.
That's really neat. It'll depend on what our fastest lap time is. I mean, we're already down to what our practice fuel was. Brakes so early into there.
Gaining on the car, heading sector 1. Well done, mate. Personal fastest lap. Car on the right. Clear on the right.
Yeah, nearly 2 seconds from it in traffic. I mean, what, 24/7? So I'm only half a second off. I mean, half a second off in race scenario. Remember, your race pace is naturally going to be a bit slower because you're not all about the one lap. You know, the one lap super pace. You don't need it in the race. You need consistency in the race.
Car on the left. Yellow flag in sector 1. Clear on the left.
I'd rather be consistent over 20 minutes than absolutely smash it for one out of every couple of laps and then have a massive like downward spiral. I mean, I get it when I'm pushing and then I'll go off and then I'll lose like 5 seconds, but I'd much rather be a little bit cautious than have the one lap pace and then go off the next lap because I'm pushing too hard. Start bouncing it off the limiter.
Car on the left. Clear on the left.
Bit of oversteer. Is that because you've added fuel and there's more weight and set in the car? Car feels exactly as it should. Car feels just as good, if not in practice. It's just that I now can't brake where I want to brake because these guys are braking a bit earlier and I just don't want to hit them. So that's going to slow the lap times down. Driving off the desired racing line to overtake is going to slow us down. Like, that line is not ideal. Now, as I say, you need a setup where you can race on all of the racetrack, not just the racing line. Up to P10. Really deep. Come on. Nice. You're really slow out of there. Come on, come on, come on. Thank you.
Car on the left. Clear on the left.
Really slow out of there. Ooh, there's a curb. Too much inside curve there. Go, go, go. 5 minutes left, P8. We got enough fuel? Oh no! Come on. I don't know what the fuel save map is for the BM. Oh, this is going to be tricky. Anybody know what the most aggressive fuel save map is? I reckon we're going to have 2 laps here. Where's the leaders? Oh, it's going to be so close. It's going to be super close. Need that 117 to not cross the line. 15 seconds, I reckon he's going to do it. We're going to be 1 lap short. Not concentrated. That's it, it's game over.
Man, the leader is on the final lap. Give it a final push.
They're coming to get me. Literally helpless as well.
Car on the left. Clear on the left.
Ooh, P6.
Right, checkered flag. Good job. You did the best you could. Now bring the car back.
That's me. Out of fuel as well, I think. Yeah, out of fuel. Oh, that was close. Mad fuel saving at the end. Just about managed to get across the line. Oh, big crash. P6 though, I'll take that. A shame we couldn't carry on and push for more. But had to do some extreme fuel saving at the end. We'll do a 124.7. Yeah, look at when we started fuel saving, 26, 27, 29, 29. Simple. See, that's why you need your engine map set. That's why you need it. So we were pretty consistent. 25s, dipped into the 24s. Excuse me. Evening traffic, that's not too bad. Getting through it. Top 10. We made it into P6. So, I mean, I can do another one. If you want to shout out tracks, then we can do that. And yeah. Apart from the one little shunt that we did, yeah, I can do one more. One more here or somewhere else for a bit of a change. We'll just go straight in. Yeah, let me jump out of here. Fun race though. It was fun coming from the back. Still saying 25-1, but that is incorrect. So where have I got settles for? $44 litres of fuel and save all the way. Work out your own fuel. Misano. Okay. Misano, 20-minute race. What? 30 cars. 20 minutes. Okay. Oh, my tyre pressures are going to be revolting for this. Paul Ricard. No, sorry, Brando spoke first. Misano, stay away from Paul Ricard. Not a fan. Um, 23. I'm just gonna have to drop the tyres and hope they're okay. And we shall see. We shall see. Right, starting from the back. Where are we finishing? What's the target? Yeah, aim for the outside and then cut in. Let's go then.
Stay double file.
20 minutes. First again. I mean, these are all pretty tight circuits. Let's go, let's go. I don't know about tyre pressures because I've got it set up for private lobbies. Excuse me?
Green light, go, go, go.
Well, that just held me all the way back until green light. That was not fun.
There's a slow car up ahead. Car on the left. Clear on the left. Yellow flag ahead. Be careful.
And let's go.
Car on the right.
Broke the game.
Clear on the right. Car on the left. Clear on the left.
Oh, gonna get pretty messy around here, I think. they're all doing really peculiar things. We just brake and then dart across. I would.
Car on the left. Clear on the left.
Bit of opens track now. That should be alright. Get our head down. Get after these. Revenge, I haven't hit anybody this race, it's all fine.
Car on the left. Clear on the left. Well done, mate. Personal best.
I hate the fact I can't see that turning point.
Car on the left. Clear on the left.
So much slower when they make a move up that side.
Car on the right. Clear on the right.
Bit forceful. Just so too much. Up for a bit of practice before tomorrow's race that we did last week. I mean, I'm always up for a bit of racing.
Car on the left. Clear on the left. Car on the right. Clear on the right.
I'm always up for a cheeky spotter racing.
Well done, mate. Fastest lap of the race so far.
Too much.
Car on the left. Clear on the left.
Oh my god, I'm surprised I got it stopped for that. And P1 is flying. I do find that whoever's out in P1 just absolutely smashes it.
Car on the left. Clear on the left.
Nice line of cars here though.
Car on the left. Clear on the left.
Oops, too much curb. Yeah, I'll always do an hour. I'll open up a lobby an hour before the 8 o'clock. I'll always do that. That's a guaranteed every week. Just get you warmed up. Get you ready for the racing ahead.
Car on the left. Clear on the left. We are at the halfway mark. Still a long way to go. Car on the right.
Oh, just a little nudge as I got a bit out of shape.
Clear on the right. Car on the left. Clear on the left.
Yeah, that's no worries, snoods. I mean, just jump on and get a ride in an hour before. But the main one's at 8. I think we'd usually do like half an hour at each track. Just whenever you can, really. Don't know.
Clear on the left.
Don't know if I'll be on during the day. I've got a few things to be getting on with tomorrow. I might be. Keep your eye on your friends list. If I'm on, I'll be on there. That's on me. I don't really know what the Bentley was doing. Whether that was my fault, or whether he went wide and tried to come back on the track.
Clear on the left.
Loads of track limits to trying to get past these AIs though. Wish I could stop losing the back end through there. That Merc is all over the back of that Ferrari. Come on.
Car on the right. Clear on the right.
Jeez. Thought he was bouncing all the way over into us then. Sorry, but I'm about to break the
Car on
part
the left.
yet.
Clear on the left.
Had to break that party up.
Car on the left. Clear on the left.
Full send, round the outside. I like that one. That's smoother than I like that. Right and early, pretty much. I haven't done that in ages. Haven't really got out of night shift pattern.
Warning for exceeding track limits.
Oh, there's my second warning. Like after coming off nights and then going on to like an afternoon shift. I haven't, I don't think I've been up before 12 for the last 2 weeks. Just through shift patterns and sleep patterns. We'll see. I mean, Mazzano, it's a fun track. Quite. Like the first sector is really technical. This corner's not too bad, but you can lose a lot of lap time on it. And then the last sector is just really quick. Fun though. Too much oversteer on their way out of the last corner.
Fastest lap of the race. Great job there. Car on the left.
The last sector is really fun. It's just full on commitment through the last sector. Is really really good. But then you can gain and you can also lose a whole lot of lap time there.
Car on the right. Clear on the right.
Steady. Get on with it. PS PlayStation Pros. Were you talking different game PC Pros?
Car on the left. Clear on the left.
Oh, the pro drivers, the works team drivers. Was that today? Because that's GT2, wasn't it today? GT4 and GT2.
Leaders on final lap times.
Yeah, it wasn't. Sure, it was GT2s at Misano today. GT4 Challenge. GT2s. Which should be a bit quicker than these.
Car on the left.
From downtown, just sending it.
Clear on the left.
Come on. They just guesstimated the tyre pressures, they weren't too bad. Can we get this Audi in the last sector? Might be a bit too far away.
Final warning for exceeding track limits. There's some light damage on the left of the car. Car on the left. Clear on the left. The leader has finished the race.
We had a go. Full sent it.
Right, the race is over. Good job, mate. You did your best. Bring it back to the pits.
P5. Not a bad little race, that. Not a bad little race. Enjoyed that. What is a GT1? Are they a real concept? Or are they talking LMP? Robert. Not 100% sure. I didn't think the GT1 class existed. You said 5th and you were in a pot noodle. Fair enough. What flavour though? Which one are you having? Which one did you win? Enjoyed that. There's some more practice for Sunday's or tomorrow's racing. Tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. Where we'll be doing Donington Park and Misano. 135.0 just out of the 134s. Chicken and mushroom. So is that your guess, Snoods? Just out of the 34s, which we know we can do. And yeah, I'm just really enjoying the BM at the minute. You got it right there, mate. Nice. Is that a pre bedtime snack, or is that going to be one that you save till tomorrow? Loads of off tracks though. Do trying to overtake. Look how much time we lost in the first sector as well. 3 attempts. Yeah, it should have been in the 134s really. And as in the race, isn't too bad. Isn't too bad going. So yeah, so we went through a lot of setup work, and yeah, we managed to get I'd say a decent. It did pretty good. It did. It was a pretty good setup for brands. We managed to get our time down. What was it? A 124.2. So nearly beat our previous PB by a second. Here's my ratings, just while we're winding everything down. So almost at 9,500. Car controls going up, which is good. See, these orange and red bars, I'm just overdriving too much. Overdriving it. It's probably costing me lap time as well to be overdriving it. But especially at Misano going into that last last hairpin. Safety rating going up from the last 2 races we just did, which is always nice, but never needed. And then where are we? Brands Hatch. That's still saying 25.1. Is there another Brands Hatch? 2018, 2019. I don't really know why they don't go on straight away. Weird. There's Brands Hatch 2020, and that hasn't even got any times on. So I don't know where they go. And there's Misano, there's my best time, 134.4. I've done. So that is it for tonight's stream. I hope going through the setups, you can now go and have a little play around yourselves, try and find something that suits, and yeah, hopefully you can find a bit of time through setups, because as you can see from me going through setups, I've been able to find time at pretty much every track I've done one for. I think yesterday I did one at Kalami. Where is Kalami? Yeah, so my best time was a 1:45.4, and after spending a few hours doing setups, I'm down to a 42.3. So there's a lot of time you can get in setups. Just a case of just play with those sliders, use the little hint sheet from Driver 61, so it's really helpful. that's generally what I use. And yeah, hope you've all enjoyed the stream tonight and enjoyed those races at the end. If you did, it'd be great if you could leave a like on the stream. It's always greatly appreciated. And as for the rest of the weekend, I hope you have a good, relaxing Sunday. I shall see you all next week. I might even throw a little cheeky midweek stream in, but I'll see how it all goes. So, yeah, thanks all for watching. Have a great rest of your weekend. And yeah, start moving some sliders in the setups and get experimenting. Have a good one, guys. See you all later.